Hey, I'm Christina.
I'm Catherine.
I'm Lisa.
I'm Amy.
I'm Lauren.
And we're Cimorelli.
You didn't say it on the camera.
Gosh,
dang it.
Wait, did my hair have a bump sticking out? We are all sisters ages 21 to 29, and we make original music, covers, and other fun videos. We upload every single Cimorelli Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. So today, we are gonna tell you guys what it was like to be homeschooled, and we're going to answer the most frequently asked questions we got. We were all homeschooled from the very beginning all the way through the end of high school. So we are very seasoned pros at being homeschooled. So keep watching if you want to know, why were we homeschooled? Did we have grades? Could we go to school in our pajamas? Would the band Cimorelli still exist if we hadn't been homeschooled? Keep watching if you want to know.
Hi, I'm Amy and I'm 24.
My name is Lauren and I am 21.
I'm Christina and I'm 29.
I'm Catherine and I'm 28 years old.
My name's Lisa and I'm 26 years old.
Did you have grades?
No is the short answer. The long answer is
We kind of had grades. It's a little bit confusing. In homeschooling, there's like, well, at least in our homeschooling, there was a different philosophy. Keep going in the subject until you learn it. You're not exactly able to do that in school because they can't just go to every individual person and do that. But mainly it was about, did you learn this or did you not learn it?
What did you do all day? School took way less time than my friends who went to a traditional school, so usually it was only like 3 to 4 hours per day. We just went through our subjects. We had our schedule laid out for the entire year. So it was like, literally at the beginning of the year, our mom gave us a binder, a giant fat binder, with every single day of the entire year and what pages and chapters you were supposed to do for that day, for that subject.
I would spend the rest of the day doing things that you might be doing in school that were like PE or like different like arts type of things. So I was playing piano for like, sometimes like hours a day, and then I was like recording music all the time just for fun.
I remember from a young age writing out a schedule of like, okay, 7 a.m., wake up, 7:05, stretch, 7:20, eat breakfast, 7:30, jump on the trampoline. Like, we didn't have to do as much time of school, so we would have a lot of time to like play outside and like hang out with each other.
And then I would just kind of play outside a lot with my siblings, play games, play instruments, write weird songs when I was like 8.
How did you make friends?
You may have thought we made friends with other homeschoolers, but no.
I got asked this so many times growing up. People just assume like, oh, you're a homeschooler, so you literally sit home all day and you never see any people.
We made friends through activities. So we did like musical theater, swim team, gymnastics, later on boxing.
Our mom did not want us to be isolated from the world. She did not want us to be antisocial. She really wanted us to meet friends and be as normal as possible. So I actually think being homeschooled made me more outgoing, and it made me better at making friends because instead of having built-in friends in my grade, I had to seek out and find people that I wanted to be friends with.
If you went to public school, would Cimorelli the band still exist?
I really don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I'm gonna go with a probably not.
That's really up to Christina because she's the one that founded it, but I don't think we would because we wouldn't have hung out as much.
I spent so many hours while my friends were at school working on harmonizing and writing music and recording music and playing piano. I spent a lot of time like visualizing and like thinking of what we could do, and I wouldn't have had that time if I was in school. I would have had a different mindset.
Did you ever wish you went to public school?
I don't really like being around large groups of people for 8 hours a day, so I did not wish that ever.
I went in and out of wishing I went to public school, but when I was younger, there were times when I really wanted to go to public school. I just wanted to be like everyone else, and I wanted to be normal.
There was a lot of times I remember of being like, oh, I'm so glad I'm not in school.
My friends would always say, you are so lucky you don't have to go to school. So I was like, okay, sounds like I'm lucky, but I also wanted to be able to like relate to them at the same time.
Did you get to do school in your pajamas?
This was like one of the most common questions that I was asked as a kid, which is so funny to me. Yes and no. There were some years where I felt like she was a little more relaxed and she was like, oh yeah, you can do it in your pajamas. And there were other years where she's like, you need to get up at this time, get dressed, like so much more organized. So I think it kind of depended.
I pretty much only did school in my pajamas.
The idea of like, oh, it's the morning, like
get dressed for the day didn't really exist until a couple years ago.
Who procrastinated and who didn't?
If I understood the subject, then I would do it easily with no problem, but if I didn't understand it, a lot of times I would not ask for help and I would just fall behind, so that was a problem.
I know a few of them were like super on it with getting all their work done every single day.
I was kind of in between procrastinating and not. Like, I would go through waves of being super like focused and like getting everything done, and then kind of like letting it slip, and then like coming back and being focused and letting it slip. It's kind of like a roller coaster.
I was not a procrastinator. I was very much like uptight. Like I could not do anything until I had to do until I had my schoolwork done.
I did not like procrastinating at that point because there wasn't too much pressure on me.
On the subjects that I loved and that I felt really drawn to, such as English, you know, literature, that type of stuff, I excelled and I did all the work like probably very close to perfectly. But on the subjects that I didn't really connect with as much, I definitely didn't apply myself the way that I should have, just because I hated them.
How did you plan your day?
So I would do like a really long day on Monday and then I would just take the other days off. I don't really know if I recommend that, but that's what I did at one point. But the rest of the times I did normal schedule.
I wrote a lot of like really rigid schedules that I didn't really follow.
My only plan I would do would be like wake up, eat, school.
I knew exactly what needed to be done for the day, and I would kind of split it up into books that I had to like write in. So for instance, like math books, English books, like foreign language kind of books. You have to like, I would kind of do like easiest first and then do hardest. I don't know if that was really the best idea.
After I got my schoolwork done, it was anything goes, probably playing outside.
Why were you homeschooled?
From what I've heard from my parents, both of our parents didn't really have the best experience with school. They both dealt with a lot of bullying and just found it to be a very negative environment. And I don't know that they necessarily think that all schools are a negative environment, but their experience was negative. So they didn't want us to basically go through what they went through at school.
My mom heard about homeschooling. She was like, oh my gosh, that sounds interesting. My mom had skipped 2 grades and they wouldn't let her skip anymore. So she graduated high school when she was 15. She went when she was 12. And she said she was bored a lot in school and she's like, I want to get ahead. Like I want to learn more. I want to do more. Like this is not challenging me. This is not that interesting. So she wanted us to be able to go at our own pace. Like if we needed individual attention, we were struggling with a subject, she wanted us to be able to get that attention. If we were excelling at something and we wanted to like move ahead and go at a faster pace, she wanted us to be able to do that.
Have you ever been to public school? If so, what did you think?
I did go to a public community college.
Yeah, so the public school that I went to, like actually went to, was community college.
I have never been to public school. All I know about public school is the movies.
It was very overwhelming. I had major social anxiety, like every day I was just like, it seemed like no one else really cared that much about school as I did. Like they didn't care as much about like learning as I did. A lot of people just like, haha, whatever, oops, didn't do the homework. I was like, how can you do that? Like,
I loved it because I'm not a super self-disciplined person. I'm not super consistent. Like sometimes I'm extremely motivated and other times I have no motivation at all. So being in a more structured thing with people like constantly checking in on me and having all these rigid deadlines, it actually helped me a lot. I really enjoyed it.
When I was 15, I went to college for 2 years in Northern California, and it was a cool experience. It was a community college, so it's different than like going off to college and like living in the dorms. And also it's different because community college, you have like a vast array of ages. So I remember there was like an 80-year-old man in my music class, and then there was like a woman in her 40s who Lisa and I loved and became really good friends with.
I think the social aspect was very stressful for me.
The downside though was I'd never been in a place where I was constantly up against all of these deadlines. So that really gave me a lot of anxiety of like, oh my gosh, I have this due, I have this due. Like,
I really liked being in school because it was so fun to learn and be in this whole environment. But then it had a negative impact on me because in the beginning I was like sitting in the front of the class and I was like so excited. I was doing all the reading, doing everything. And then I got influenced so easily in some ways, and by the end I was just like sitting in the back, talking during class, not paying attention, not doing any of the reading, because I noticed like most of the people there, they did not give one rip about learning. They didn't care about that, and I was like, what? Learning is fun.
How do you get into college, and at what age did you go?
I don't know. I took the ACT. I think that was kind of how it worked here. And then, yeah, I didn't have to like take a placement test, I don't think. I think they just based off your ACT score.
My mom helped me with like picking out my classes and all that stuff. And yeah, I was really nervous, but really excited about going to a school for the first time. It was so fun.
I don't know how it worked because my mom was like registered as a school. So she, if you don't know about our mom went to high school when she was 12, public school, and graduated when she was 15. She was a savage. She put my older siblings in college when they were like 15 and 16. And then when they were there, they were like, oh, this is really easy. I think Christina was like, Lisa could do this easily when I was 14. So my mom's like, okay, sure. Let's put Lisa in college.
So I'm the only one of my sisters that never went to college, and there's a few reasons for that. Online school wasn't really a thing yet, and I didn't have a license, and my mom was like, I can't drive you there every day. And I don't exactly know how you get into college because I didn't do it, but I'm assuming you just take the ACT, take your score, get your transcripts, and then apply.
How did you stay focused and get your work done? What are your tips?
Staying focused and actually getting your work done, it comes down to a lot of different things.
Number one is like have a plan.
So, it's about mindset, and it's about environment, and it's about organization.
Okay, my problem was that I got everything done in the subjects that I naturally understood and excelled at, but I didn't get a lot done in the ones that I didn't understand.
Don't just be like, time to study. Plan like this is what I'm gonna do first, this is what I'm gonna do next, this is what I'm gonna do next. Like I'm gonna spend this much time on this much time on that, or like this will probably take me this much time. Like have kind of an outline of what you're gonna do.
If you are really stressed about things, you're more likely to procrastinate them. If there's so much pressure on them, you're so terrified that you might do a horrible job in this class or on this test or whatever, you're gonna be putting it off. I'm gonna write this book report, I'm gonna read the book, I'm gonna write it, I'm gonna do my best. I'll have my mom look at it, I'll have my friend look at it, whatever you can do, your tutor, whatever you can do.
Plan it out in a realistic way that actually works for you.
I didn't have a very hard time focusing and getting my work done. I know that's kind of a cop-out answer, I guess, but I really didn't have a super hard time because I was extremely focused on it, and I was like, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna finish it and it's gonna be great and I'm gonna be done and I can go have fun.
Do you think homeschooling affected your personality?
I don't know. I really don't know.
I think it definitely could have.
If I went to public school, I would have been a lot more like kind of like bland as a person, because like homeschoolers are just really weird. Like every homeschooler is weird, and a lot of people that are not homeschooled are not that weird. And I think it's because like when you're in this environment where you're with the same people every day and you're with them for like hours on end, it's like, I think for a lot of people you do have to kind of like just assimilate into it and like try and fit in, because you don't want to get like bullied, you don't want it to be awkward, so you kind of just like do what you need to do to be like normal and like socially acceptable.
Homeschooling definitely affected my personality. When I went to school at 16, college, I had a lot of social anxiety. I had that my whole life anyway, but it was really like exacerbated. You guys probably understand if you deal with the same thing in school. It just kind of made it worse because I could suddenly feel myself measuring myself up against everyone in so many different ways every single day. And when you're homeschooling, you don't really have that in the same way. Like I couldn't look around and see how everyone was doing in my grade when I'm homeschooling, you know? I became more of a strong leader being homeschooled and being around my siblings a lot where they looked to me as a leader.
I already was desperate to fit in, and I think that if I went to public school, I might have been even more desperate to fit in, if that's even possible, but that's all I can conjecture, folks.
Both of my parents are very outgoing and like charismatic, and they modeled that for us and showed us like, oh, this is how you act in public and you greet people and you talk or whatever. And they did not want us to be like socially isolated too much, so they would put us in sports and stuff, and they set an example for us of like, you're gonna fit in and blend in with the other kids even though you don't go to school. I never felt different from kids that were in school like socially. I just wasn't around them as much.
I do think being homeschooled affected my personality. It's hard to say because you can't just like look at yourself like, oh, here's the version of me where I went to school. But I know that a lot of homeschoolers very much think outside the box because they're not really used to being in like such a systematic type of experience all the time. So they can be very like just out of the box. That's kind of like the thing you generally see with homeschoolers.
Would you homeschool your kids?
I would definitely homeschool my kids. I loved homeschooling. I would never change it for the world. I'm definitely kind of in awe of my mom because looking back, I'm like, how the heck did you do that? It's so much work. And I'm really nervous for that for myself. But even if I had to employ the help of like, there's different things you can do. Like there's people that can kind of come and help you stay on track, or there's like charter schools, or you can take certain classes. So but I definitely want to homeschool my kids for sure. And I think it's an amazing, amazing thing.
Yes, definitely. And I'm excited for it.
Oh, 100% I would homeschool my children. I'm planning on it.
Definitely. But I do not have the discipline to like make a whole program and stuff. So I would put my kids in like a co-op for sure, where it's, you know, you go like a few days a week or something.
I will definitely be homeschooling my children. I love teaching so much. I'll put them in lots of activities. I cannot wait.
All right, guys, it's time for Question of the Week. Every week, we get a question from you guys from social media. This week, we're gonna get it from our Patreon community, which is the best. So this question comes from Andrea or possibly Andrea. I'm not sure of the pronunciation there, so I'm just gonna put them both out there. All right, she said,
Wait, I just pulled my earring out.
would you rather stay in or go out on a Friday night?
Go out.
I stay in all
Go
freaking
out
week.
where?
This is the context. I stay in all week, so I'd rather go out, like go out to dinner, see a movie, or like go somewhere, go dance, go bowling. I want to do something fun.
I would rather go hang out with my friends at someone's house.
Yeah, I'm like Lisa. I don't really go out the most of the week. So Friday night, I'm like,
Let's do it! I think I would like to do something chill where I go out to like a chill dinner and then come back and like watch a movie or something. So I like to do both. But I like a chill Friday night.
I don't know, because there's a lot of context that goes into that question.
Trust
was my
answer.
week? I would rather go out 10 times out of 11.
Wow.
okay.
Okay.
I really don't know, but 10
So
times.
what you're saying is like the video if you're bald or if you have hair.
Like the video if you liked the video.
Honestly, I think the hairline in my soul is receding.
You know, I relate to that
Yeah.
actually somehow.
Make sure that you hit subscribe and join the Sim Fam. We are a positive community of people that just want to be our best selves and lift each other up to the fullest day after day. So if you want to be part of that community, we'd love to have you. And if you feel like you don't belong anywhere else, you belong here in the Sim Fam. So make sure you subscribe.
Thanks for watching. We love the Sim Fam.
Guys, I did one half so you can fill the other half.